All right, I'm excited to introduce you all to Anne from Sound Dog Connection as well as Wag Sniffison. We have recently completed some work together in one of my marketing accelerator programs. And could you start off by just giving us a little bit of introduction about where you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. I would love to. So again, my name is Ann Waterbury, and I own Sound Dog Connection, which is in Washington State in the Puget Sound area. And this business, I've had this for about 7 years. Prior to this, I've been training for over 20 or working in behavior and training for over 20. Prior to this, I had a business in another state and I sold that to move to a place that I've always wanted to live. I wanted to get
Nice.
out off the East Coast and closer to mountains and in Washington State. So I thought it's now or never. So
Mm.
it was a tough thing to sell a business that was doing well, that I was really happy with, that I felt was successful, and it's hard to walk away from that and recreate it, but I definitely wanted to be in a new location. So I thought the time was right. So I did it. So
For
new
sure.
to this area, relatively new to this area, but have been doing this for a while. And then I also am the co-owner of White Snificent, which was a kind of an idea from a rehab veterinarian friend who was like, we should team up and do online education
Mhm.
because that's such a unique pairing, a behaviorist and a veterinarian. And
Right.
that's what I do, a lot of work and get a lot of referrals from veterinarians. So I thought that's perfect. I would love to team up and do that. So we just launched Wag Snificent. It's really just getting rolling. I mean, this is its second year, really. So we have some content, we've done some webinars, but we're still growing that.
Yeah, for sure. So do you recall how or why we first connected?
So we first connected because I saw something on Facebook, like, I forget how you worded it, but hey, if you want help with your Facebook marketing or, looking at improving your page, let me know. And I was like, yes, because I know that's an area I know nothing about. I know that I don't know anything about it, and I know that it's underutilized. So I thought that was perfect, and I did, and we had that quick meeting where you gave me just a lot of insights.
Yeah, I think it
So
would have
how,
been maybe a Facebook audit even.
yes, Facebook audit, that's what it was.
Yeah, for sure. So those are really good because I mean, I can share quite a bit of information right away and help people look through a lens of like, oh, and help them realize, how some things could be doing better and why some things aren't producing the results that they might have wanted. Okay, so then, where were you at with the business before we started working together, or businesses, whatever you want to talk about, essentially?
Um, for Sound Dog Connection, it was going very well. I would describe it as going very well. I was um, meeting numbers, bigger numbers that I had set for myself. I do a lot of veterinary referrals, do a lot of specialty cases and aggression and things like that. So
Right.
I would say that the business was going really well in what my definition at that time was. But I've learned a lot with, I may be jumping ahead. Sorry, I learned a lot working with you on things that I could do that just kind of take it to the next level to make sure that I make sure the business isn't running me, but that I was like running the business with an intention.
Yeah, and we can just delve right into that, and that's no problem. So, like, even though the business was doing very well, what do you feel like maybe has changed since before to now in, Sound Dog Connection, for example?
So now I feel even more, again, a little more like there's more intention, and I'm running things, not just like, oh, chasing my tail. That I'm really kind of running things with more intention. So I've always had like, oh, this is what I want to make a year, and a picture of um those things, dollar amounts, but
Right.
never on the level that you helped me look at it, where I looked at month by month. And then what does that look like? How many of this package? How many of this package? How many clients? Like really break it down into little chunks. And then I realized I could be doing actually a lot more
Hmm.
when I look at the reality of how I can break it down and what's really reasonable too, and not like crazy working 7 days a week. Yes, I could do that and make
What do
more
you mean
money, but
by more?
that's
Okay,
ridiculous.
I was gonna say, so you could
Yeah.
do more what? Like make more income or work with more clients or what? Or both?
So now I found that I can work a nice workable amount of clients, like a nice 5 day a week, good standard schedule, and be exceeding some expectations that I had for sure. And then really looking at setting those goals each month, just a few minutes of, okay, I want to do this and this and this, and then keeping track of it. Like, oh, wow, I did it. I've sold, when I sold 8 packages and I've sold the 8 packages, or just helps me really tangibly look at things in little bits and pieces, which is
Yeah.
easier for me to digest.
Well, I think it is for everyone. And I was literally going over this exact same like sales projections for upcoming months on a call today. And it just really simplifies the mystery of how to actually, maybe make the amount of money a person wants or needs. Um, and also use our time more effectively, right? So if I just had an arbitrary, hey, I want to make $5,000 extra a month, and then you're like, yeah, I'm going to really try this month. And then, what happens? Well, you make the same amount or less than you did. Why? Well, you didn't have a plan. You're just crossing your fingers and toes, being like, let's hope that I can make more money. So what we're trying to do is being like, okay, here's what you want to make. Here's what you're probably going to make from past history. Well, how do we bridge the gap? Well, I'm not sure. Maybe I could sell an extra one or two programs. And it's like, well, yeah, you absolutely could. How can I assist you doing that? And I think from me, it seems like that was something that really, one of the things that really stood out for you maybe was like, oh, it's actually a lot simpler. And I can reach this target without burning myself out.
Yes. And it felt more like I had a little more control. Like, okay, I feel like I was really busy. I think I did it. And then I look back and I'd be like, gosh, I'm like $2,000 off where my imagination said I was.
Right.
So it's very kind of operationalizing what I mean by I'm going to make this much or I'm going to work this much, and looking at those together.
Well, and also it's like facts versus feelings, right? I worked really hard this month, and it's like, okay, well, did you hit your target you went after? No, I didn't. I'm like, well, then, like, did you feel like it was worth it for how hard you worked? And we're like, not really. And I'm like, okay, so maybe we should strategize on how you can not burn yourself out and not meet your target. What if we could meet target and feel more less pressure or less burnt out and just more balanced? And there's absolutely ways that we can do that, and it's just trying to help people notice it, because it's so easy to be getting caught in the minutia of day-to-day operations where you don't realize that you're cycling in the same circle.
And then exactly. And then feeling like I'm kind of staying on my business plan because I can look, and sometimes other ideas will pop in or other opportunities. And then I can look back and be like, nope, this is 8 packages, their behavior, aggression. I really had this blueprint of what I wanted. So I'm like, that doesn't align with my
Oh, that's
goals. So
really
I'm gonna
good.
let that go. If that doesn't align with my goals, I'm gonna let that go. So I'm not like a border collie just chasing frisbees. If it's not aligning with my what I set out, then I could reevaluate it. I can put it in a note somewhere, but it doesn't work right now. And I got to
No,
stay
that's
on track.
that's a huge distinction that I didn't even think of until you brought it up, is like, yeah, it totally helps us kind of keep our North Star, keep our eye on the prize of where we're going, and kind of push away the distractions, because new ideas are really exciting. But if you put it against the litmus, is this going to get me closer to my goal or further away? Well, actually, it's going to be a complete distraction for the next 6 weeks. And I want to do it, but not right now. So I'm going to, like you said, make a note, come back to it, because really what I have to focus on is probably the things that I'm avoiding. And if I do this other work, I'm going to continue to avoid the thing, which is maybe selling my programs. So it's like, why don't I just sell my programs? And then, oh, I met goal. Cool. Next month, maybe I'll think about adding that new thing.
Right. Right. And that kind of came out in one of the calls that we had that was like very organic. Something kind of came up about all these different ideas and how, you had a point about does it align with who you are, your business plan or your goals? And it really drove that home for me. Like, okay, That is absolutely, that's just good business. Just stay focused, stay on this track. There's room for the dreams or thoughts, but kind of stick them over there and there'll be time to evaluate them, but make sure they're not keeping me off track. So I'm like, oh, I feel like I worked really hard, but it was because I did this thing that's not going to get me anywhere. It's not going to get me closer to my dollar goal for this month.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, I mean, it's really positive because it's just such a simpler blueprint that we can stay on track with versus getting off track. Because I mean, unlike anyone else, I've got off track many times. And then I looked at the facts at the end of the month. Oh, this is how many clients I got. This is how many I thought I wanted to get. And this is what I spent my time doing. And none of these things were in alignment with where I want to actually go. Oops, I got distracted. So then it's like next month, I want to be better at, using some of those questions in real time. Like, for example, that you brought up, oh, I got this really great idea, but is it in alignment currently with where I want to go at the end of this month? Well, no, it's not. I'm going to have to push that aside for the time being. So that's perfect. I'm not sure if I'm frozen or you are. Oh, you're back.
Yep,
Sorry,
frozen.
or I'm
Okay,
back.
I'm back.
One of
You're
us.
back.
Okay, were there any unexpected benefits from the course that you didn't anticipate?
Oh, yes. I mean, there was several. Like, I rarely, maybe never, did a lot of promotions because I
Okay.
just thought, oh, I'm not gonna. I just thought that's discounting, like, oh, 50% off a behavior package. But through one of the calls, you were talking about, all the different ways that you can have promotions that aren't like giving your stuff away, which doesn't
Oh,
make
yeah. So the
financial
distinction
sense. So,
between a sale and a promotion, and that they're not the
yes.
same thing. Sale is a discount. Promotion is I'm just promoting something.
Yeah, so I did one promotion in October, last October, and that was really, really successful. And it was just, not a discount, it was just a promotion, and it really took off with the clients that already are, as you say, know, like, and trust me. So it was just
Right.
great to continue those relationships and keep building that. So I have a whole different relationship with now doing promotions and how I can do that and what that looks like. And it
Mm.
has been incredibly helpful, but it's something I never explored because I just thought a promotion is a discount. It's all the same. Boom.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's perfect. Because it's such a different, mindset. And, we could easily be like, I'm never going to do a promotion. And then you're not helping people to the depth that you could be, as well as, getting compensated for it. So that's excellent. Was there anything else you wanted to add? You don't have to add anything else, but
Let's see, because I think I already said, yeah, the big picture item and the planning. And then of course the social media, just totally changing my relationship with social media instead of something that I dread or
mm,
don't like at all, but just thinking, oh my God, it's a wonderful tool in understanding how to use my page and what that can look like. And even just making a plan. And again, on those calls, everybody kind of organically getting some ideas together so we could inspire one another. That was super, super helpful to learn that how to use social media and that it's kind of can be a very fun thing. You have a plan, you know what you're going to post, people are interacting, you're like, oh my God, this works.
right.
People are interacting with my post. And that's what I was looking for is to, especially for WAG, since it's all online, I really wanted to up my game in that area because if
Right.
WAG is going to be a fully online platform, then using social media is going to be a monster for us to utilize that.
Oh yeah, 100%. Well, and it's just also too where most trainers I've ever met don't really want to have anything to do with anything marketing related or sales. It just seems like it's like a dirty word or something. But it's like there's two different kinds of marketing and sales. There's, something that's not in alignment with your personality, and there's stuff that can be. And really, what I was trying to teach, and I do and I am, is trying to help, gentle, focused dog trainers and other pet industry professionals have fun with it, but also build a deeper community, right? So lots of it is like we do some engagement posts where lots of people chime in and you get to know more of your community more and connect with them. But also the benefit for you on that side of it is that you become a person that they are like, hey, when I need some help with dog training or I need a daycare or whatever the thing is that someone does, is they're like, I want to go to Anne because I mean, she's really fun. She posts interesting content. I know what she does. It's very clear. Let's do it. So just making something like marketing, demystifying it, making it a process and making it, relatively simple to kind of keep up with.
Yes, that has been very helpful to change my relationship. My brother used to tell me that years and years that sales wasn't a bad thing. You're informing, you're educating, you're building connections. And now I'm like, oh, now I know what he was trying to tell me. So sorry I missed the message, but when he told me, I missed it.
Well, that happens. It's almost like we need to call it a different word. I don't know what. I've been trying to think of that where it's like sales for people like us that don't like to sell. What could we
Right.
call it? I haven't
I
come
know.
up with it yet, but anyways, I'll have to
I mean,
coin.
we're educating, right? Because we're putting stuff out that hopefully is useful, that people could take something from the content. So I know
Ethical education and sales. I don't know.
it needs an acronym now.
Yeah, something. Right. There you go. That's good. Okay. If someone's on the fence about taking, my marketing accelerator course or business expansion, obviously you have more experience with the marketing accelerator course. Would you have any words of wisdom?
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be very useful and you're going to find out things you didn't even know you didn't know, or at least that was my experience. It was very, it wasn't like a gimmicky one size fits all. It was very structured toward the individual's goals and needs and philosophies, really, as far as like what you're trying to attract and do. So I love that part. It wasn't just a, do this and I guarantee results. It was like, here's
Right.
some things you can do. And then wait, let's try this way. And then the calls were really helpful as everybody was getting together. You would be there to kind of keep that flow going, but it was a nice exchange of ideas and input
Mhm.
and it felt very empowering.
Well, that's a unforeseen benefit too. Often is the community of like-minded people, because lots of times we don't have access to that as professional dog trainers running our own business. Is you're not necessarily spending tons of time with other people in the community in that regard, right? So it's a nice platform for that. That's perfect. Well, I appreciate your time you took out for chatting with me today. Was there anything you wanted to add? I don't expect you to, but
No, I don't think so. I appreciate it so much, and I would encourage anybody else to certainly take advantage of your expertise. It was well worth the time and the effort and the money. I felt like I took away a lot of great things that I can still utilize. Not that it's behind. I have lots of great things that are now habits, which is wonderful.
yeah, and that's a good distinction too that I hadn't talked about. Was like my intention is to equip people with habits, strategies, and tactics that they can move forward with, long after the program completes, for example. So perfect. Well, thank you so much for, giving me a shot and also taking time out of your day to join me for this call.
All right. Thank you.